What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we're talking about Ohio State linebacker Pete Werner. And he had one heck of a pro day to get his name on the map. Obviously, he went to Ohio State, so everybody knew who he was ahead of time. But take a look at this pro day. He ended up running a 4.58 40 as a linebacker who's nearly 6'3", 238 pounds. And good size for a linebacker, great speed for a linebacker. I mean, a 4.38 shuttle is really good. He also bench pressed 20 times for 225. So he came out, and the numbers were awesome for Mr. Pete Werner. So this made me, like, somebody else also asked during the Chris and Tim podcast on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Somebody was watching it live and said, "Hey, what do you think about Pete Werner?" And I was like, "I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I think about Pete Werner. I didn't even know who he was, to be very honest, to be very frank." So I was like, I'll look into him. I'll take a look. And so I watched him in both the national championship game and the semi game against Clemson and Alabama. And overall, I'm going to say I was not overly impressed, right? It was similar to how I felt about Dylan Moses when I watched Dylan Moses' stuff. They're just kind of technically sound dudes. They kind of just do their job. They kind of remind me of like Ryan Kerrigan, right? Where Ryan Kerrigan is obviously a great dude, but mainly he doesn't like wow you all the time. A lot of times with Ryan Kerrigan, he kind of just is a guy that does his job. Like if his job's to contain, his job's to contain. If his job is to rush the passer, he's going to rush the passer. But it's kind of like a lot of his sacks normally come off of like hustle plays, or broken plays where he chases a quarterback down, like stuff like that. And this is the kind of dude that he kind of reminded me of, where in the run game he doesn't really attack really well. He kind of just holds his gap, which is good. I mean, that's what you need when you're a defensive coordinator. You need a guy that just does his job. So let's take a look here at his stats. He didn't have like an overly great amount of tackles either, where if you look like at Cole Holcomb, he had 100 combined total tackles, 64 total tackles in 2019, 58 in 2018. Now, granted, they only played 8 games, so they didn't play as many, but he only had 37 total tackles now. Just, one sack in 2020. He had a couple of rushes of the passer, made the quarterback rush. I saw him both against Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. But it's just, to me, like, a lot of people have him mocked in like late second, early third, and Pete Werner's a guy that I would much rather have a Jabril Cox. I'd much rather have I would probably even rather have Dylan Moses. Of course, unfortunately, Jamin Davis is flying up the draft board, so we're not going to get him anymore. At least not at 51, unless we want to take him at 19 or trade back or something like that. But Pete Werner, to me, is a guy that's kind of like a 4th or a 5th rounder, similar to like what we drafted Cole Holcomb. They have a similar feel to me. Cole Holcomb was, I think, actually a little bit faster, but they have a very similar. They're very similar players to me. They have good size, they have great speed, they have great tackling ability. He didn't miss a lot of tackles. It's just they don't flash in a sense, right? Where they don't do a lot of great plays to make you really get excited, which is not the end of the world, right? I think he can be a solid role player on a NFL team, and this would not be my first linebacker off the board. Let's put it this: if he's the only linebacker we walk away with, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. Like, I would if he's the second linebacker off the board, and we get like a true middle linebacker, maybe like a Zaven Collins or Jabril Cox or Nick Bolton or somebody along those lines. Jamin Davis is another guy. Like, if we got one of those, and then we added Pete Werner for another guy potentially to play our other outside linebacker or a depth player, I wouldn't be mad about that. But this cannot be the only linebacker we walk away with is Pete Werner, because he is not a guy that really excites me, and a guy that you could put in the middle of your defense and he's going to crush it, right? Like, get behind that great defensive line and he's going to make some plays. He's not that kind of guy. And but overall, I would be okay with a 4th or 5th rounder, but not an early second, or late second or early third. This is not the guy we should be looking at in that range. Please do not draft this guy in that range. No. But you guys let me know what you guys think of Pete Werner down in the description below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also in the description, there is a Discord link. Come on and talk some Discord with us. And last but not least, there is donation links in the description below. If you feel so kind, you could donate to the channel. Pete Werner, me. And until next time, see ya!